Today on CJ Off-Road, we're going to let you know if a 6-inch lift is right for your Gladiator. Well guys, as you just saw in that little introduction there, this thing is absolutely massive with a 6-inch rough country lift. And today's question is the lift going to be right for your Jeep? Now with our 6-inch kit, we were able to throw 37s on here, and this thing is a daily driver, but it does see a lot of time off-road, hence why we've got the brand new Putco bed rack on the back. But today's question, like I just mentioned, is to figure out if the 6-inch is too big, if it's just right, or if it's gonna be great for your Jeep. Now, Rough Country does offer a bunch of different size lift kits, but the 6-inch for us just fit perfectly because of what we wanted to do with the vehicle. Honestly, in my opinion, I think it looks great with it, and I think it fits perfectly with the 37s. If you have a Rubicon, these fender flares are gonna be even higher, so you can easily squeeze 40s or 42s underneath this Jeep. Now, last thing that I want to do is hop into this Jeep and really give you guys my opinion on how it is as a daily driver. This is going to be on the highway and on some back roads here, just kind of weaving through the countryside to figure out how it handles if you were to drive this to work every day or use it as a daily driver Jeep. The next video we're going to do, we'll be taking it off-road and seeing how that handles. However, today's main focus is going to be how it handles on the street, because as most of you know, we spend most of our time on the road with our Jeeps. Now, I'm sure I don't have to keep telling you guys this, but if you like the Gladiator content we're putting out or any of the off-road content, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything we're doing with this Jeep. We got a lot of plans for this, and as you can see, it's pretty crazy here in Pennsylvania. A 6-inch lift in 37s. You don't see many of these rolling around. So if you want to stay tuned to this build, hit that subscribe button as well as follow along to our social media pages. So, you know, the biggest question that we get asked is, why did we go with a 6-inch lift on our Gladiator? And one of the biggest reasons is because this is kind of the end goal of this Gladiator, was to be really high in the air. And when we decided on a 6-inch lift, there's only a few vendors out there on the market that actually make one. And Rough Country's kit includes everything you need. I was really impressed when I opened up the box, and it came with a brand new front drive shaft as well as all the control arm drop brackets. Now, when I do a lift kit, I want to make sure that everything's included, or I have the same vendor to get everything that I need from front to back. So Rough Country included the shocks, the springs, control arm drop brackets, a drive shaft, even the brake lines and brake line extensions. I got the track bar, everything from them. So it's all in one kit, and it's gonna be ready to go. So that's something that I was personally looking for. And the reason that we went with the 6-inch is because we wanted to clear 37-inch tires and still have plenty of room to flex. So a 6-inch kit with 37-inch tires is gonna give us a lot of room to flex out on the trails with our sway bars disconnected, and give us plenty of weight distribution to be able to hold a rooftop tent on the back, as well as carry all of our off-road and camera gear in the bed of the truck. So the first thing that I kind of want to address while driving this is going to be sort of the back road feeling, you know what I mean? We're not hitting any dirt roads or any gravel roads. It's just going to be a daily driving. So you guys that live out in the countryside or like to take it out, this is how it's going to feel compared to stock, compared to what we've had on it, you know, a 2.5-inch, a 3.5-inch lifts. We're going to kind of give you the gist of it. So we're going to cross over the highway here, hit some back roads near our shop, and really get a feel for what this lift, you know, can do performance-wise. So let's see if this Nissan can go. If not, I'm just going to hammer it right through there. They made that Nissan Frontier the exact same body style for like 14 years straight, and people still buy the new one. I don't get it.
Yeah, I love them.
See, like I said, we just crossed over the highway there, and we will get to that in a little bit, but overall I want to get the feeling of how this thing performs on some back roads, you know, so just some side roads, obviously not paved as well. The first thing that I'm going to say is that the suspension is a lot softer than factory. I will tell you that, you know, the factory overland tires and combined with the factory suspension, it was very tight. So you did get a little bit more of a sporty feel with it, but you were feeling every little bump, you know, oh my gosh, you drive that thing and every little nook and cranny in the road, especially if you live in Pennsylvania, you know that the roads aren't perfect, you would feel every little bit of it. But overall, this is going to be a lot softer of a suspension, and that's to perform better off-road, but also enhance your on-road driving. So when we're going over some larger potholes or other obstacles, you will not feel those, which is pretty great. Another aspect on the other side is that being that it is a softer suspension, you will want to take the turns a little bit slower. You're up in the air 6 inches just with the lift, and then we threw 37s on. So in total, we're probably up almost 10 inches from factory, which is going to increase our center of gravity and make it a little bit top heavy when we go around turns, especially throw a rooftop tent on our rack and all that other fun stuff. But so going around a turn here, like we can still hit it with some speed, but you do feel a little bit more body roll. We're obviously still planted, but going around some curves like this, You do have a little bit of body roll. Honestly, not as bad as I thought it would be. I haven't really driven this since we got it aligned. But just hitting some back roads, guys, it drives just as good as stock, if not better. Honestly, you don't feel like you're driving a 6-inch lifted vehicle, and that's what everyone that's hopped in here says. Once you're into it, you really feel comfortable. You feel like you're connected with the road, and that's kind of a huge aspect why we went with this 6-inch kit, is that we didn't want to lose all of our ride quality. So we still have a great ride quality on road and increased off-road. So the next part of this is obviously going to be some highway driving. You know, as we drive our vehicles, especially our Jeeps, we're going to be taking it down the highway, and we really want to get a good feel of what that's like. So right now we're cruising at about 45 miles an hour, getting faster up to highway speeds. And in Pennsylvania, on where we're driving, we actually do have some bumps and some little bridges where you don't want to get that death wall, but you don't want to feel like you don't have control of the vehicle. And I can tell you that we're doing the speed limit right now, maybe a couple miles an hour over, and it feels pretty solid. Obviously it is softer, so you have a little bit more sway in the vehicle and a little bit more body roll, as I mentioned before, but you just got to be more aware of it. Obviously it doesn't feel like anything weird for me. I've been driving lifted vehicles my entire life, but for someone that doesn't have a 6-inch kit and is going from a stock Gladiator, definitely take things a little bit slower, you know what I mean? Go around turns a little slower, give some more room for braking on 37s, but one hand on the steering wheel and I'm cruising down the highway perfectly fine. Obviously you're going to experience a different ride than stock on the highway just because it is a little bit higher, but overall not too much of a difference. I'd say highway driving is really comparable to stock, just with that softer aspect that the rough country shocks will give you. So now what this is going to do is absorb a lot of the smaller bumps, and you know, on the highways here in PA and a lot of other states, you do have a lot of different potholes and things like that that you can run into, and that's just going to help absorb those. When you are stopping, because it is really tall, you might have a little bit of just a kind of side-by-side while it's going down, because the springs are settling a little bit. Once you have the front winch, the front bumper on there, you have a lot of weight that's moving around on this vehicle. That's why I say give yourself some more time and you'll be perfectly fine on the highway. Overall, I enjoy it. It's not bad. I like driving on the highway with it. It doesn't feel like anything. I couldn't hop in here and drive down to the beach or take a long trip pretty much wherever. And so obviously really comfortable on the highway, comfortable on the back roads. Overall, this is a good daily driver for a 6-inch kit. So now the final question, you know, what the whole video is about, and obviously we just did daily driving today, but you know, is this kit the right lift kit for your Gladiator? Or if you're even looking at lift kits for your truck or even Jeep, would I recommend it and what would I recommend it for? Now, obviously I would recommend this kit. If I had a Gladiator, I love the stance of a 6-inch kit. I feel like it fits it perfectly with that long wheelbase and really gives us an aggressive stance on this vehicle. Now, if you're going to be daily driving this more than you're going to be off-roading, obviously there are some things that you're going to have to look into, like having this up in the air a little bit more is going to cause a different driving style. Nothing crazy, but just for you to be aware. If you like to be more sporty when you drive your Gladiator, shall I say it, and hit the turns a little faster, maybe this kit isn't the right choice for you. I'd recommend a 2.5 or a 3.5-inch kit. That way you can still get into the corners and drive it a little bit quicker. With a taller kit like this, the center of gravity is really high. Another thing I wouldn't recommend it for is if you're going to be working out of your Gladiator 24/7. You know, if you're going to be in and out of this thing and you're a shorter guy like I am, getting over those bedsides and working out of the bed now becomes a little bit of an issue if you're going to be reaching in there all the time. If it's going to be for off-road and camping, you'll have no issues because you're going to be aired down and you don't mind crawling up in there to grab what you need to out of there. But like I said, those are going to be some options. If this is the kit that's right for you, definitely check it out on our website. We do have smaller kits, so if you're looking for a 2.5, a 3.5, even a leveling kit just to get the front end up, you're not looking to drop some coin or do all the modifications to it, but just want to give it a nice stance, we have all of those available. And we've also done install videos on a lot of them, so definitely check out our page and you can see those. Overall though, guys, at the end of the day, the choice is up to you. So we want to help you build the perfect ride for your perfect driving style, what you do with your vehicle and how you can best enjoy it. That's what we do here at CJ's. We want to give you the best quality ride and the best vehicle for you to go out and have a good time with. So if you guys didn't hear me before, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page as well as follow us along on all of our social media outlets. We're constantly on there updating it, letting you know why things are on sale, you know, some new projects that we have going on and everything that's going on at CJ Off-Road. So definitely stay tuned to those. But until next time, guys, I'm going to enjoy driving this Gladiator a little bit more today, and I'll see you out on the trail.